Hey guys, Those Communications, and I got a quick little, just a little something different. I usually don't do these type of videos, reviews of DVDs and Blu Rays, but I thought it'd be, a good time to start, because this is actually one of my favorite movies, and I really think that this is a really good job by Shout Factory. They really knocked it out of the park, in my opinion, with this movie. And as you can see by the title up above me, it's Tank Girl. We're talking about the Tank Girl Blu Ray DVD combo pack from Shout Factory. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of a preview, basically just tell you what's on this Blu Ray, and a little bit of review of everything that's on the Blu Ray and DVD combo pack. And this is going to be different for me because I usually don't do these type of videos, so I'm just kind of making this up on the fly. So hopefully I can at least, I don't know, keep your attention for at least a short period of time. This isn't going to be a big long video. Anyway, this is without a doubt the best transfer of the film you can get. Now I have the original DVD transfer of the film, and it's alright, but this is without a doubt the best transfer of the film. Now when you watch the movie, you will see the letterbox format. You're going to see the black bars no matter what version you're watching. You could be watching the DVD or the Blu Ray. And the reason why you don't see a full screen that fills up your entire TV is because the film wasn't filmed in anamorphic widescreen. It was filmed in actual widescreen. It wasn't, shot and, and then, stretched to fit the screen. So that's why you see the black bars, because the movie itself was actually filmed in widescreen, which was something that the director Rachel Talalay really pushed for. And for the longest time, a lot of fans of the movie, or even people who would find the movie on home video, were stuck watching a full screen version of the movie, which really hurt the scope of the film. Now, like I was saying, the presentation in my opinion, of the film is the best it has ever looked, and ever will look, probably, until I highly doubt Sony will ever do 4K for Tank Girl. Sony doesn't give a shit about Tank Girl. I'm just shocked that this even got a special edition DVD, with any features, considering that it was pretty much a box office flop. So the features that are available on this set are an audio commentary with the director Rachel Talalay and Lori Petty. It marks the first audio commentary I've ever actually sat through all the way. Like the Tank Girl commentary is the only commentary I could say that I watched all the way through. My first one, and so now I'm curious about other ones to see if they're as entertaining as this. There were a few moments where Lori Petty and Rachel Talalay didn't talk that were kind of, that kind of ruined the flow. But other than that, I thought the two really worked really well. It was great to hear Lori Petty talk about her experiences on the film, and Rachel Talalay also. And what's interesting though is there's a little bit of deja vu with the commentary though. I'll forewarn you guys, in terms of the fun facts that are talked about. Because the fun facts that are talked about in the commentary are also talked about, majority of them are also mentioned in the interviews. So there's a little bit of deja vu there, but there's also more extra stuff that isn't talked about in the interviews, and even the stuff that you do hear that's a little bit of deja vu, it's expanded upon, which I think that's pretty cool. So either way, I think it's one of the better commentaries I've ever listened to, and it's the first one I've ever listened to all the way through, so I can't really say I'm an expert at anything like that. I can't really, I don't have anything else to judge it off of. But from what I've heard, I thought it was really good. Now the interviews, you have 3 video interviews, brand new interviews. You have about a 22-minute long interview with Lori Petty, which is my favorite one. It just seems like she is that character. Lori Petty isn't really acting when she's playing Tank Girl, and as evidenced when you find out that she was actually given a lot of free reign from the director to just be herself, to just, do a lot of improv, which is what a lot of the jokes are that Lori Petty has in the film. A lot of the moments in the movie are just improvisations by by Lori Petty. The scene where she's trying to distract the water and power guys to get proof for the Rippers that, you know, that there's a gun deal going on, and she's dressed like Madonna and saying stupid stuff like, the super has left the model. You know, the super has left the model. And in the commentary, Lori Petty cracked on that, and she's like, oh, this is where I could say stuff like, the super has left the model. God, I'm retarded. It's funny. I wouldn't say she's retarded, but it's just, I really like how down to earth Lori Petty is, and how much she just has a great personality. It's infectious. She's just a really upbeat person, and it's really great to see that. And it's really great to see in this interview to see that she's not changed who she is. She's still the same wacky, wild, and crazy personality that she was in the very beginning, and she's also a down to earth, and she's humble, because evidenced by stuff that she actually mentioned stories where people see her in Venice, you know, in Venice Beach, in California, and you know, say, hey, it's Tank, I love you, Tank Girl, and then she'd be like, I love you too. You know, I think that's really cool, you know, that she gives back to her fans. I mean, she says thank you and, you know, really appreciative of it instead of, you know, thinking it's a curse or whatever. So it's really nice. And there's a lot of fun stories. In the first part of the interview, she talks about her, you know, getting into acting. And this is interesting. She talks about one of her first ever roles was in the 80s, an episode of the 80s Twilight Zone, which is one of my all-time favorite TV shows. And she was doing an episode with Uta Hagen, who is this world famous acting coach, which also ties into kind of what I've been, you know, for me personally, because I took an acting class at Clark at college, and we watched videos that, you know, were by Uta Hagen. So I thought that was really cool. And she basically said that she wasn't feeling it that day on the set, and she was kind of, you know, not into the proceedings or whatever. And Uta Hagen said this nugget. She's all like, do you want to go, do you want to be here, or do you want to go home? And then Lori Petty used that line from Uta Hagen, that little nugget of wisdom, to propel her to her, you know, to her career as an actress in Hollywood. Because she kept thinking about, you know, would I rather be home here, or would I rather be doing a movie, or would I rather be home? So, you know, I thought that was really cool. I thought that was a nice, you know, nugget of information and wisdom. And there's a few other stories she talks about, the making of the movie that I thought were fun. The fact that she never really got to see Ice-T and the Rippers, you know, the actors, you know, Jeff Kober. You know, never got to see them without the makeup on. Like, she only really knew them with their makeup on. Because, yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. And also the fact that she just really was gung-ho and really believed that she was going to be Tank Girl. She was like, I know I'm getting this part. And even though, you know, she was doing a role beforehand, and she was, like, plastering Tank Girl posters all over her trailer and, like, one of her, the film that she was filming before she got this role, and then she finds out that she didn't get the role because originally Lori Petty wasn't the first choice, and I don't know who really was the first choice. That's why they don't even say who it is. They just say there was this girl, and I'm like, oh, who is this girl? I'm curious. And the reason why she quit is because she didn't want to cut her hair, and so they called up Lori Petty, you know, just in the nick of time. She showed up a week, you know, before production, you know, before shooting started. And, you know, basically I love that Lori Petty is I knew I was going to get this part, because I'm Tank Girl. But she read the script, and she's like, I'm this character, I am Tank Girl. And I'm going to get this part. And then, of course, as fate would have it, she ended up getting the part. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then also, it's also really interesting to hear her thoughts on, I guess, like, how fun, but at the same time how kind of grueling the shoot was. How she actually injured her. She almost cut her finger off. In one scene, in Liquid Silver, and also even more so, she almost died that there's this guy. She was on a scene where she's riding on top of the tank turret. She has this joke. She's like, when the director says, action, men, guys just seem to just get all worked up and just want to go at full speed. Well, he's supposed to go at like 5 miles an hour, and he punches it, and so she ends up falling off the turret, and she lands on the wheels of the tank. That's probably not they're not really wheels. There's probably a special word for them, but I don't know what they are. So she lands on that, and she's just holding on for dear life. And later, the tank stops. She gets up. She gets in the driver's ear. She's like, "What the hell were you doing? I almost died back there." And he's like, "I couldn't see." He's like, "Why couldn't you see?" It's because you were blocking the hole that I look out to see. You look out to see what's going on. The treads. Yeah, I think she was on the treads or whatever. She fell on the tread or something like that. But I thought that was funny. Like, Lori Petty almost died shooting Tank Girl. The tank almost killed her. That's crazy. But she made it through, and I liked a little bit of, on the commentary, she's talking to Rachel Talalay, telling her about that story. Rachel Talalay is like, "I didn't know that." Just like, "What? You don't remember that?" It's like, "No, I was too busy. I guess everyone was really busy and whatever, all that." And it was like, and then Rachel Talalay had a good joke. It's like, "Oh yeah, everybody's, Lori almost died over here, but who cares? We're busy." So something like that. It's not the exact line, but I thought it was fun. And overall, it seems Lori Petty's really, really appreciative and really likes the I guess likes the, I'm trying to find the right word for it. She appreciates the fans that she has from her work in this movie, which I think is cool, and her fans in general. And it's really nice to see that she's come a long way too. She's a writer. She writes her own movies. She's directed her own films, and now she's also an artist. So she's really come a long way, and it's really nice to see. And I just a lot of fun, that interview. That was my favorite interview because she's just such a great magnetic personality. I love you, Lori. I really do. I miss a personality like that. You don't have people like that quirky but personable personality on television or on film very much anymore, which is too bad. So anyway, yeah, that was a great interview. Then there's another interview with Rachel Talalay, the director, which is interesting. They pretty much asked some of the same questions they asked Lori Petty to the director, and some interesting little nuggets of wisdom, like about her story about trying to get the movie pitched, where she took the movie to Amblin, Steven Spielberg's company, and she starts getting all into it, and everybody's, and it seems like the person behind the production office or whatever, the board meeting, is psyched about it. I think it's a good idea. And then after she just blows them away with this presentation about Tank Girl, then the lady says, "Well, this sounds great and everything, but it's too hip. We can't do that. Spielberg can't. Spielberg doesn't do that." So then, what I found funny is that Jamie Hewlett, one of the guys who's created Tank Girl, is a writer. Who wrote the Tank Girl comics. He created T-shirts for the crew of the film that said "Too Hip for Spielberg" on them. And that was funny. Too hip for Spielberg. And that's the name of the interview with Rachel Talalay. And then there's also some other T-shirts that were talked about in the commentary that were kind of funny. Like there's a T-shirt with Booga on it, and that said penis, and then a T-shirt of Tank Girl that said vagina. This is a really out of place, weird, strange stuff. And I like when Rachel Talalay is talking about how she basically, the Jamie Hewlett and Alan Martin, who created Tank Girl and did the comics, they gave their info they gave their 2 cents on the script and things like that. Like they sent them like a list of British profanity, and they're like, we can't put that in there. We can't put this in the movie. And I thought that was pretty fun. So yeah, there's a lot. It's a very interesting, fun interview with Rachel Talalay, and it lasts about 22 minutes, the same as Lori Petty's interview. And then the last interview is with the production designer Catherine Hardwicke, who won an Academy Award for Twilight, I think. And she talks about how Rachel Talalay talks about how she fought really hard for her, that she really liked her passion, and she wanted to get a production designer who was as passionate about this crazy idea, and as she was. And Catherine Hardwicke was the one that was really gung-ho and really wanted to do it, but the studios basically took one look at her resume. It's like, no, you better find somebody else. And just at that point in time, as if, you know, it was an omen from heaven above, an article was printed in the LA Times which praised Catherine Hardwicke's hard work on sculpture in LA. And then that was enough, I guess, notoriety for the studios to give her a shot to do the production design. And I really like her work in this film. It's one of the reasons why it feels so much like a comic book come to life is because of her production design. And she really brings it here. And she talks about fun stories about how they shot a lot of the sequences from the film in an abandoned copper mine, and they had all this space and stuff like that, but every now and then it would leak, and there would be like, you know, gas that was just like, you know, liquid or whatever that would leak from the copper mine that was toxic, and so they have to get evacuated from the set sometimes, you know, because it was getting, you know, the gas or the liquid was leaking from the mine, and you know, it was a health hazard. So I thought that was interesting. And so yeah, that interview lasts about 17 minutes, I think. It was interesting interview. And I don't remember every single thing that was talked about by everybody in these interviews, and this review is going a lot longer than I thought it would. But anyway, yeah, that's about 50 minutes of new material, so I think that's really cool. And then there's also a vintage featurette, which is about 5 minutes, which was cool too. Some fun little interviews and a little bit of behind the scenes of Stan Winston's work on the Rippers, which you find out in the commentary that Stan Winston, the studio and Rachel Talalay, sorry, I almost said Catherine Bigelow, because I had to get Catherine Hardwicke. Rachel Talalay, she couldn't afford Stan Winston. So Stan Winston, out of the goodness of his heart, and put out his own money to do the Rippers, because he really wanted to do them. So a project he really wanted to do. And so he put forth his own money to do the effects, which I thought was really cool. And I don't think they look bad at all. I think they look great. And in high def, they look just as good as they did when I saw the film for the first time. I don't think the Ripper effects by Stan Winston are bad at all, like some critics have said. And so yeah, it was nice to see a little bit of behind the scenes of the Ripper makeup. Which makes me think that there might be a Leviathan featurette from back in the day. That would be cool. And then it has a theatrical trailer, which was nice to see in high definition. Then, of course, you have the high-definition transfer of the film, which looks fantastic. And then the commentary, which is really informative and fun. And, so yeah, really good DVD. And Blu Ray, if you're a huge fan of this movie, it's definitely a must-own. And a few more things I want to mention about the production, about specifically the deleted scenes that are talked about in the commentary. I thought there was a lot more. And I guess Rachel Talalay is saying there might have been an hour of footage that was cut, but that might not have been anything that was really crucial to the story. But you find out in the commentary that a lot of the animated cut scenes are there because they couldn't shoot those scenes, you know, with live action, because there were big, grand action sequences that they couldn't do with the budget that they had. So they chose a unique way of still being able to do it, and I thought that was really cool. And also, the deleted scenes are, well, they're in the beginning, like near the end or whatever. Like there's a room that Tank Girl has. I think it's in the house. I think it's, or like her room in the beginning of the movie is just has all these dildos all over the walls. And the funny story about, you know, having the prop guy go in and buy 40 dildos and have 2 like shopping carts full of dildos, and then it never sees the light of day because MGM was getting all prudish and was like, no, cut that out. We can't have, you know, 40 dildos all over the wall in a movie. Come on now. So I thought that was pretty crazy. And then even speaking of big dicks, there's a scene that was cut out that was a love scene between Booga, Jeff Kober, and Tank Girl Lori Petty. And Stan Winston actually created a full bodysuit, a naked Booga with like a 12-inch long penis or something like that. You're like, Jesus, this is crazy. And they're like, it was never gonna make it's never gonna make it into the final film. But I just thought it was nuts. And then there was original ending that was cut out where Tank Girl, Sub Girl actually makes an appearance and, you know, breaks through the underground, goes up from the under the ground at the end, you know, during the end at the Water and Power Factory, blows a hole through a door, and then like the rain starts falling, and really, honestly, the clip is on YouTube. And I gotta be honest, I like the way the ending is, because the ending for the original ending is really cheesy. But I just wonder why that ending that is on YouTube isn't on this. Because if it's on YouTube, I mean, you'd think it would be on here too. But that's the only thing I could really probably say that this is missing, is probably that some deleted scenes. That's about it. Either way, this Tank Girl Special Edition is loaded with features, loaded with fun, loaded with a lot of entertainment, and really had a lot of fun with it. I mean, I watched all the features and watched the movie with the commentary all in one day, and I had a blast. So the movie still holds up really well. I've already reviewed the movie in 3 parts, and yeah, this is definitely the edition to pick up of the film if you're a fan of it. And yeah, this video's gone on a lot longer than I thought it would, but either way, like I say, I like to go in depth, and whether it's just a review of a movie or a review of a DVD set or Blu Ray set, you know, that's the way that's how I roll. So anyway, folks, thanks for watching, and see you guys later. See ya.